All right, good afternoon, everybody. Once you guys can hear me and you could see the board, just type good afternoon in the chat and we're going to jump right into today's session. Today, we're going to have a small group because there were a lot of events happening today. So I hope that we could make today effective, make sure everybody learn and leave feeling confident about this topic. All right, so I'm seeing the chat. Some person saying good afternoon. Everybody else, let me know if you're with me, if you're seeing the board, if you're hearing. Yes, you could definitely send the message to me directly, or you could send it into the general group chat. Just let me know. So out of how many people? 17 persons. I see 5 responses. So just waiting for everybody else to check in. All right, so I'm seeing some other responses coming in. Don't forget, participation is the only thing I ask for. So again, if you're not comfortable with posting in the general group, you can send it directly to me, like most persons do. All right, so today's focus area is relations and functions. So this is essentially question number 4. And part of question number 8. But today we're going to focus more on the question 4 aspect of the question. Question number 4 is split into 2. It deals with both relations, functions, and graphs. So we're only going to do the relations and functions part, and then we're going to do the graph part next week. All right, so if you guys are ready, you have your books, your calculators, because you're going to definitely need your calculators today. Generally, we would need graph paper, but for today, we won't stress too much about that. So once you guys are ready, just type ready in the chat and we're going to get started. All right. So whenever you hear relations, right, this topic is actually an extension of algebra. So a lot of the things that you learn in algebra, you're going to need to learn here. So some words you're going to hear me talk about a lot or use a lot will be words like substitute, words like solve, words like find the missing variable. All of these things are things that we would have touched on before. So let's start off with the concept of relations. Now, I usually tell students relations is just like some instructions. So the instructions tells you what to do, whether to add 2, multiply by 2, subtract 3. That's what the relations and functions represent. So we're going to call this the relation/function box. Now, whenever you have a relations, you usually have an x value, which is what we put in the instruction. And then obviously, when you do the instruction, you're going to get an answer, which is what we would get a y. So over on this side, we will call this side the input. That's the number or the letter that we put in the instructions, and then the answer is what we call the output. Another word we use to represent the input is the domain. Another word we use to represent the output is the range. So I'm going to use a quick example. Let's say my instruction is add 3. All right? And let's say my input is 2. So if my input is 2 and the instructions is to add 3, anybody could tell me what you think the answer is going to be? What is going to be the output? Let's go. These are the simple concepts that we need to get. So I need everybody to tell me what you think you're going to get. If we had a number 2 and we add 3, because 3 is our instruction, what answer are we going to get when we add 3 to 2? Okay, I see some answers coming in. Anybody else want to try? So the question is, what is 2 plus 3? All right, I see the answers coming in. People, you could send me the answers directly if you don't want to send the answer generally, okay? And I just want to encourage everybody to be brave. We're here to learn. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. All right, so the answer that everybody sent me, you guys are right. The answer is 5. Because how did we get that? The input was 2. What was the instructions? What do you supposed to do? Add a 3. And so the answer that you get would be what? 5. Let's try another one. Suppose my input was 6. What would I get when I add my instructions? 6 plus 3. So what's the output? What is our output if we are adding 6 to 3? Excellent. The answer would be 9. Very good. So what have we noticed here? 2, what would we call 2? 2 would either be called what? It's 3 names you could use. What's the 3 names that you could use to describe 2? 2 is either called the input, X, or the domain. And then the answer that we got, what are the 3 names you could call it? The 3 names you could call your answer is your output, Y, or range. So if I were to ask quickly, what do I call it to? Either the input, X, or the domain. What do I call 5? Either the output, the Y, or the range. Similarly, this example here, what would I call 6? 6 would be called either the input, the X value, or the domain. And 9, which is the answer, would be called the output, the Y, or the range. So before I continue, everybody understand this basic concept here of relations? They're going to give you a number, which is your input. They're going to tell you to do something to the number. And the answer is what you call your output, your range, or your range. So let me know. Your output, your Y, or your range, sorry. So everybody check in. Got it or don't got it? Got it or don't got it? So I'm looking in the chat. I'm looking in the chat right now. All right, a few persons saying they got it, waiting for the others. No, I realize some persons, since they've joined, they haven't responded to anything at all. Please don't be afraid to respond, okay? Even if you say got it or don't got it, that's all I need. All right, so we're gonna do a quick exercise to make sure people understand the concept. But before we do, one way, you just came in. So let me ask this question. Have you done relations and functions yet? All right, so another way to represent this information we call coordinates. Coordinates. And usually that is represented by a X, bracket, open bracket, sorry. The first number is always your X value. Your second value is always your Y value. Another name for this is what we call ordered pairs. You see this word here? CXC does ask for this a lot. They just ask you to find the ordered pairs. So this concept is extremely important to make sure you take note of this terminology here, ordered pairs. So what we're going to look at is, based on our 2 examples here, we could use this example, 2 and 5, to write them as ordered pairs. So if I want to write this as ordered pairs, who usually comes first? We always start off with the brackets. And which one always comes first? A and the X. Out of the 2 and the 5, which one is the X? If we remember. Anybody? Who should write first, the 2 or the 5? Excellent. Okay. Let's go, guys. Come on. There's only two options you have. It's either the 2 or the 5. You need to try. Which one? And I just need to make this point right now. If I am going to have class today, feeling the way I feel, the least you guys could do is answer the questions. So if I don't get more persons responding, I'm going to end class right here. So between 2 and 5, because 2 we call, and if you look above, look it right here in the box, 2 is what we call the input, X or the domain. So obviously that means 2 would be written first, right? And then the second number is what we call the output, Y or range. So we represent it like this. So this would be the ordered pair for these two numbers here. So I want you guys to tell me what would be the ordered pair for our second example, the entire thing. And ordered pairs is not ordered pairs if you don't have the brackets. So use your brackets and tell me how to represent this 6 and this 9. Because we're moving along right after. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. Excellent job, everybody. So obviously 6 is my X, right? And 9 is my Y. For those who send in the answer without the brackets, you're gonna get it wrong because ordered pairs must have your brackets, okay? The brackets must be there. All right, so let's do a quick rundown. So let's say I gave you this ordered pair, 2, 7. I want you to tell me which one is the X and which one is the Y. So let's go quickly. What number is my X value? That's the first question. What number is my first X value? 2, right? And so what is my Y value? Excellent. Thank you very much. Let's try one more. And you know the reason why you're doing practice, spending some time on this. If you do not know this, everything else we're gonna learn gonna give you problems. So we must master the ordered pairs. All right, so let's go. What's another example? 5, 3. What would be my X value for this one? Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much, everybody. Y would then be what? 3. Simple stuff. Okay? All right. So another thing is, what is the name? Which one is the input? Is 2 the input or the output? Let's make sure we understand all of them. So X is 2. So what do we call this one? The input or the output? Excellent. So this one is the input, and that means Y is our output. Similarly, which one is your domain? What do you call the X1? The domain or the range? Because you must know all 3 names. X is always your domain, excellent. And that means Y is always what? Your range. So it doesn't matter which one CXC asks you guys. So if they ask you for X, you know what they're talking about, either input or domain. If they ask you for the Y, you know they're asking you for the output or the range. So this one is easy. That means X, same thing, input / domain. And the Y is our output / range. How we feeling? Everybody good to go with this one? So this is our first where we represent ordered pairs. So let's go. Let me hear the good to go and not good to go. If you came in late, let me know if you pick up anything. Because all this is basic stuff that you're gonna need. All right, another thing I realized CXC started doing recently is introducing something called mappings. This is another way to represent ordered pairs. So we're gonna use the example we had here with add 3. So mappings use these 2 like circular things, right? And they have, what you think does come first, the X or the Y? Let me see who thinking. Who do you think comes first? Excellent. So this circle would represent our X, or we would call it what? The domain. And the second circle would represent our Y, which is called the range. Pretty easy, right? Then you would have a set of numbers in your domain. So there we go. 1, 2, sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if somebody were to ask you, state the elements of the domain, what would you say? If they ask, state the elements of the domain and list out all the numbers inside here. So you would write domain is equal to, you use your brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody with me? Straight to the point. Now, if I am using relations, which is add 3, so every number, let me use a straight line. Every number is connected to this number over on the other side by a specific rule. What is the rule? Hey, would I be marking up my board there? Hello? Take it off, take it off. Because it's gonna interrupt what people seeing. Let me see here. Let me change some settings. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so as I was saying, every number in the domain is connected to the number in the range. And if our rule, so let's write it, the rule here is add 3. So let's zoom in here a little bit. Let's focus here. If the rule is to add 3 to move from the X to the Y, what would be my answer for the first part here? What would we do? We would say 1 plus 3 is equal to what? Let me see if anybody's thinking. Excellent. So our first answer is 4. Let's go down the line. Since the rule is add 3, what is the next one? 5. Excellent. Next one. Very good. Because remember 3 plus 3 is 6. Very good. Next one. 7. Very good. And the last one is what? 8. Very good. So guess what? We just drew our first mapping. Everybody see how the mapping is drawn? Who always comes first? It's the same thing. X comes first, then Y comes second. Now, I could represent all of these connections as ordered pair. So who could tell me without me saying it, what would be our first ordered pair? Remember how the ordered pair look? The ordered pair always looks like what? X first, then your Y. So what would be my first ordered pair? Ja, excellent. Randall, excellent. Anybody else? Is that true? Yes. So big up yourself one time. 1, 4. Give me the next one now. Let's go. Remember, if you don't send the brackets, you're not going to get your full marks. So those persons who practice it now, ordered pairs must have the brackets, okay? So that's 2, 5. Excellent job, everybody. Next one. 3, 6. I like what I'm seeing. Very good. Keep it moving. Send me all. Send me all. What's the next one? 4, 7. Excellent. And the last one, 5, 8. Excellent. So what have we done so far? We have understood the connection between our X value and our Y value. What connects them? The relation, and the relation is just the instruction. Whether to add 3, minus 3, whatever they tell you to do, that's your relation, right? And that's what gives you, or that's how you change a X into a Y, okay? They're related to each other. That's why you call them a relation. We know the names for our input, which is X, and domain, which is the answer that goes in. And the answer that you get would be our output Y, our range. We learn how to represent the information using ordered pairs, and now we understand how to represent it as a mapping. Everybody good to go with the mapping? So if CXC gives you a mapping and asks for the ordered pairs, you should know what to do to get your ordered pairs. If CXC gives you the mapping and asks you to find the elements of the range and the domain, you should be able to do that. So we're going to try one more. We're going to try one more, and I want you guys to fill it in for me. So I'm going to give you a relation. You might need your calculator for this. So work this one out for me. So this is example B. We're going to use some negative numbers because, CXC love a negative number, eh? And you have to be able to maneuver through negative numbers. So this is, you always label everything. So this is your domain. And this is your Y, and this is your range. So we're going to have, let me use a straight line. So I need everybody's, I'm going to write down the whole entire, if this is the question you need to have in your book, as an example, as notes, this is the one I need you to copy down. So question A would say, complete the mapping. Complete the mapping. I think a question like this came in 2021. I'm not sure, but one of the questions, something like this came recently in one of the recent past papers. And then question 2 says, express as ordered pairs. I'm going to explain what a codomain is, because the codomain is a different, some people use the codomain and is under a specific rule. So I'm going to explain the difference between the codomain and the range, but that's also correct, yes. So everybody complete this question for me, please. The rule is add 2. So that's your rule. This is the relation rule, add 2. Gonna give you guys a few minutes to work this one out. When you're done, just sit done in the chat so I could see how you're working. But I'm gonna put on my timer and give you guys 2 minutes. All right, so I've seen a lot of people have finished. Excellent. I love the pace y'all working at it. Because remember, one of the things we want to make sure we mash up is time management. We got to be able to work a question and work it fast, bust it through fast. So I'm just going to encourage everybody to put a pep in your step. You guys have 30 more seconds to finish if you have not. I see somebody hand up. You have a question or you want to tell me something, you can. I'm super proud of you guys for being able to be finished within that time frame. Excellent job. Big up yourself one time. Very good. All right, so let's run through it now quickly. What would be my first term? I don't wonder if y'all was able to do. If you don't understand, that's no problem. Just follow along right now, okay? Thank you for being honest and saying that you're not sure what to do. So let's see if we could help you understand. So everybody, let's go. What would be my answer for the first one? Excellent, because if you say -2 plus 2, you should know that without your calculators, eh? It's going to give you 0 when you add this number to this number. Same thing, let's go step 2. -1, you add 2. Excellent. Next one, 0 plus 2. Very good. Next one, plus 2. And then the next one, excellent. So that's 2 marks there in the back. Now, what would be my answers for the second part? No, we got to group it, right? So what would be my first ordered pair? My first ordered pair would then be -2, 0. I hope you all have that right. Then it's going to be -1, 1. Then it's going to be 0, 2, 1, 3, and then 2, 4. How much people had that? All right. All right. All right. Excellent. How are we feeling about this? So we could take it up a next notch now. We could get a little bit more harder. Y'all ready to take it up a next notch? Let we go. If anybody have any questions, let me know now. So just a recap: input, output. You follow the instructions or whatever the rule is. In this case, it was +2. So we took every X value and we just +2 to get the answers for our Y value. And as we see here, they were all connected. Now, sometimes CXC does give questions that look like this now. They're going to tell you that F, which is now we're going into the functions part, F is equal to, or F of X, which represents the function. And another way of writing this is F dot X. Sometimes CXC does use both, but both of them mean the same thing. Everybody with me? Do not let a little slight change confuse you. This simply just means the instructions as well. That's all this means. So instead of giving you the instruction in words, they're going to give you an instruction as a formula. So let's practice some quick instructions that are presented as a formula. So we're going to go up here. Suppose they gave us, right, F of X, which means that they want you to do something. This is the function outside here. They want you to do something to the X. And so what is the answer that we just get? If this is the input, you realize that's why X is in here. What going to be the output? The output is going to be what? Y. So this is just another way to represent the information. F of X is equal to Y. Same concept though. X is called our what? Input. Y is called our what? Output. Everybody with me so far? Do not get confused by the simple adjustment. This is just the more complicated representation of what we were doing. So everybody with me so far? What was the one we were doing before? What was the instruction over here? The instruction was what? +3, right? So instead of writing it like this, how would I write it in this form? This is how they would write it. F of X, which is the instruction, is equal to X plus 3. Isn't that true? If we look at it, didn't we add 3 to all of the X's? Right or wrong? Talk to me, people. Right or wrong? Exactly. And so what is the only difference here now? We could list out our X value, and this is how they would write it. They would say the X values would be what? Brackets. What are all the X values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do we call this? We call this the domain. Ain't it? And we know the domain is what? The input. Period. Exactly. Everybody see that? So all they're telling us now is that everywhere we see X, we got to switch it out with these values here. So let's work it out the more advanced way, because to be honest, this, even though this came once, they could bring it again, but you have to be prepared for the more advanced version, which is this. So how do we work out something like this? So we got to list it out. We got to find the answer for everyone. So we're going to say when X is equal to 1, what is Y? Y is equal to 1 plus 3. Isn't that true? Which is equal to what? 4. Is that true? What did I do here that was different? What is my X? We said X is 1, right? This ain't the formula here. This ain't the formula here that we had to substitute into. And so what did it tell us to do to the X? They say add 3 to the X that you have. So if X is 1, we're going to say 1 plus 3 equal 4. What is our ordered pair from this? Our ordered pair would therefore be what? 1, 4. Let's come across here. They're in the same thing, just a different way. Look at it. X is 1, Y is 4. How did we get there? We plug it into the function. Let's do the second one. What's the second one? X is what? X is 2, right? So we're going to say X is equal to 2. So if X is equal to 2, Y is equal to the function 2 plus 3. What is 2 plus 3? 5. That's our output. So if we put it in ordered pairs, our input was what? 2. And the answer we get when we put it into the function is 5. I hope everybody following me now. Let's do the next one. X is equal to 3. How do we get Y? We put it into the function. Y is equal to 3 plus 3. So what's the answer? 6. So what's the ordered pair? 3, 6. Next one. X is equal to 4. What's your answer? Y is equal to 4 plus 3, which is 7. So our ordered pair is 4, 7. Next one, X is equal to 5. That's the last one. How do we get our Y? We plug in the values. 5 plus 3 equal 8. So our ordered pair is 5, 8. Now let's look at both sides. Aren't they the same exact thing, just different ways to find it? Look at it. Do you realize that here we just add it and then put the answer? But what is different here? We use the calculation method. Everybody seeing it? Look at it. Isn't it the same exact thing? So if you got it, say got it, because I'm going to give you one to do right now. So this is the one you guys going to copy down in your books and try it for me. So I'm going to give you a function, which is some instructions, and then you going to write the ordered pairs using the calculation method. And when I say calculation, this ain't substitution. Everywhere I see X, I change the value for X. This ain't substitution into the formula. All right, so let's try this one. Please note that a function could be represented by any other letter than f. So you could have f of x, you could have g of x, you could have, no problem at all. No problem at all. I hope you feel better. I have the same thing as well. H of x. So please note that don't get nervous if you were to ever see another letter, because they just simply represent different functions. Everybody with me? All right, so let's try a different one. Let's use g. So g of x is equal to 2x. Anybody know what 2x mean? Anybody remember what 2x means? What 2x mean? What is happening between these two things here? Excellent. This means 2 times x. This means to multiply, right? So I'm going to give you your x values. Your x values is going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm just going to use let the example from up above show so you could at least have it. So everybody work this one out for me. Find the ordered pairs. Find the order pairs. So take a try at this one, guys, and tell me where you get. If you're not sure, that's okay, but I still would like you to try. Yeah, getting through? Okay. Let me know if anybody gets stuck. That's okay. Remember, what is our all right, so I see some answers coming in. Very good. Remember our interaction. Sorry, not interaction. Our instruction is to multiply by 2. So every x value, you have to multiply by 2. So I'm just going to start First thing first, I'm going to list out all of my X values. What are my X values? My X values are 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know this is our domain. R are the numbers that we use as inputs, right? So I'm going to have X is equal to 2, X is equal to 3, X is equal to 4, and X is equal to 5. Everybody agree with that? At least this part? Then what is our instructions? Our instructions is to multiply by 2. So our Y value would be equal to 2 times X. What is X here? X is 2. Everybody see that? So what is my answer then? My answer, my first answer should be what? 4. Because 2 times 2 is 4. Everybody see that? So what is my ordered pairs then? My ordered pair is X is 2, Y is 4. Yeah? Did anybody get this? I know some persons. If you put the sign instead of the brackets, that's perfectly fine. So you could have put 2 times 2. Remember, it's the same thing, right? Remember, brackets also mean to multiply. Yeah? All right, anybody could tell me what you got for the second one? And please note that you have to make sure you know how to do this because CXC gives you mark for working. You have to show how you get your Y. So don't just ever put Y is equal to 4. Show them how, okay? We're not leaving no crumbs behind. So in this case, let's go. What am I multiplying by? 2 times 3 equals 6. So our answer is 3, 6. I like what I'm saying, guys. Very good. Y is equal to 2 times 4. So that would be 8. So that would give us 4, 8. Next one, Y is equal to 2 times 5. So that's going to be 10. So that's the ordered pair is 5, 10. All right. So before we continue, do everybody got it? Do you got it? Do you got it? Do you got it? So you realize we did it 3 ways, eh? Yeah, realize we did it 3 ways. We used the instruction method, we use the mapping method, and then we use the function method. Talk to me, talk to me. Excellent job, everybody. Because now we're going to take it up a notch. I'm going to give you a CXC version question to see if you understand. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. This part is probably the most important part that we need to know. So check this out. F of X is equal to 4X minus 3. Now, this is what we call a real functions questions because you realize there's more than one thing we got to do. 4X means what? You should know 4X means 4 times X, and then the answer you get is subtract 3. Everybody with me? So these are the questions they're going to ask you to find. Find F of 4. B, find F of 2. C, find F of 0. D, find F of negative 6. E, find F of, that's it? I think that's it, yeah. So that's it. My question to everybody is, have you seen this before? Do you understand what to do? Yes or no? This is even before I show you. Have you done this before? Do you know what to do? I love the attitude. I love the attitude. No, everybody here, based on this, what does this tell us to do? What does this 4 mean? What does this 4 represent? Excellent. Anybody else? Excellent. It means that that is the value of our X. It means that that is our domain value. It means that that is our input, right or wrong? So we know that F of X means to use what? 4X minus 3, right? So 4X minus 3. So that means everywhere we see X, what are we going to switch it out for? Everybody see that? Because they're telling us that this is what the X value is. So you're going to say 4 And instead of putting the x, you're going to put the value of the x, which is what? 4 minus 3. Let me know if y'all have it. Let me erase all of this for now. Let's focus on making sure we understand. So what would be my next step now? My next step is to do one multiply first, right? 4 times 4 is 16. 16, you bring back down the minus 3. So what is my answer? My answer is 13. What does this mean? That means when x is 4, y is 13. Talk to me. Everybody see now? The input was 4, the output was 13. Let's try another one. B, f of 2. What do we do here? Okay, somebody's saying they can't hear. Is there anybody else that not hearing me? Can you guys hear me? So Gleniqua saying she can't hear. So I guess she just got to fix her thing. All right, everybody. Do you want to try this one on your own? Try this one and tell me where you get. Try this one for me. Always remember, you have to come back to the function at the top. That's where you have to come back to, the function to the top. So if they ask you to find f of 2, what do we do? Our input is what? Deanna, check the answer for me. Check the answer for me. So we got to use the formula, right? What the formula say must do? 4 times x. And what is x here? X is 2. Do we agree? This is our x value in here. Plus the, hear me boy, plus now. Lord of mercy. Minus the 3. Everybody agree? So it's going to be 8 minus 3 equal 5. Very good. No, please note, you don't have to give them this unless they ask you for it. I just want to make sure that you understand that if they ask you for the ordered pair, you know how to get your ordered pair. You use your X and you use your Y, but your actual answer is just 13. Everybody understand the difference? I want to make sure I teach you everything one time. If they ask you to find f of 4, the answer is just 13. If they ask you for f of 2, the answer is just 5. But if they ask you to state the ordered pair, you know how to state the ordered pair. You use your input and you use your output. So you do not write this unless they ask you for it, okay? So let's try another one with a negative number. Let's see if we are able to handle negative numbers. Or let's try 0. Yeah, let's try 0. Give me the answer for f of 0. All I want is the answer. Let's go. Put some pepper in step. You should have your calculators on hand, but you should be able to do this without your calculator. Today, we're practicing. Okay, so I have some different answers. I see -3. I see 0. I see 1. I see -3. Check it again, guys. Check your answer again. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm accepting all answers, whether they're right or whether they're wrong. Send them to me, because that would tell me what I need to do to help, okay? I get +3, I get 1, okay? So let's take a look and see which one it is. Here, everybody, what is my x value for this one? What is the value of x for this one? 0, right? The number in here. So we're replacing x, because let's go back up. What's the formula? 4x minus 3. So we're going to say 4 times 0 minus 3. And I hope y'all seeing how I'm breaking down my answer. I can't see in our books, right? So you have to promise me. You see how I breaking it down step by step come down? That is how you need to work out your answer so that you can get your full marks. Don't just jump from this to this. Don't ever do that. Show you're working. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Because we want to maximize our max. Okay? All right, there we go. So we know that this means 4 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0. And, 0 minus 3, it's nothing. So you're going to end up with -3. So I hope persons who didn't get it see where they made their mistakes and adjust it. Let's try one more for the road. Find f of -6. Please do not let this mash you up. Please do not let the negative sign mash you up. Use your calculators for now. Use your calculators. If you know you're not confident with your negative numbers, use your calculator to help you. So, all right, I'm waiting to see what the answers are. I have one answer, negative 27, negative 27. Anybody else? I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I just want everybody to send me what they think their answer is. Because we have to be confident when it comes to negative numbers. All right, let me take a look. Let me take a look. Let me take a look. So it's 4x. The formula is 4x minus 3. So we know we're multiplying 4. What is our x here? Negative 6 minus 3. All right. So we know this means 4 times negative 6, a positive times a negative is a negative. And 4 times 6 is 24. And 24 minus 3. When the signs are alike, you add the numbers and you put back the sign. So 4 plus 3 is 27. So the answer is negative 27. I think everybody, almost everyone got it. Those who didn't see it, I hope you see why the answer is negative 27. If you put this in your calculator, you gotta. So talk to me. Everybody understand the basics? Because this is the basics. If you got it, say got it. Because we're moving on to the next concept here. We're moving on to the next concept. I like what I've seen so far, guys. Pick up yourselves. I'm feeling very sick. You wouldn't believe it, but y'all gave me energy. So thank you. No, another thing we need to be able to do is determine whether or not a relation is a function. Because we know a relation just gives us instructions, but a function is specific. No, this is when a relation is a function. And these are the different types of relation. Types, you just need this for paper 1, by the way. They don't really bring this for paper 2. They might, so we can prepare for it just in case. So let me see here. Hold on. Anybody know the different types of relations? Yes or no? Types of relations. I'm looking. Yes or no, my awesome people, my beautiful people? Do you know the different types of relations? Okay, I seen yes, I seen no. Waiting for more persons to tell me. No. Okay. So let's go through the types of relations. The first one, guys, is a one-to-one. So this is very important, okay? So I need y'all to copy this down quickly. The first type is a one-to-one. And a one-to-one is usually written like this, one-to-one. Let me see if you understand why it's a one-to-one. Excellent. Excellent. So I'm seeing persons sending what they're thinking. A one-to-one relation is when one number in the domain is connected to one in the range. Everybody see that? So if we look at it as the ordered pairs, this would be what? 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. Everybody see that? That means that 1 is all the numbers is special. See that? 1 only goes to 3. There's no other ones going to any other number. 2 going to 4. That's special. 3 to 5. None of the numbers are being repeated. So it's a special or a different X connected to a different Y. Everybody get the one-on-one, the one-to-one? Okay. The second one, I see some persons posting it, so thank you. The second one is a many-to-one. It's self-explanatory as well. So that means you put M to 1. So let's look at what a many-to-one would look like. So let's say we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here we have 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me see if persons could see why this is a many to one. Let me use my red. A big part of maths, guys, is being able to see things. Tell me if you've seen the many to one. If you're seeing the many to one, saying see it. Talk to me, talk to me. If you look at it, right, you see that there are two different inputs, because don't forget our X and our Y, right? Our X and our Y, it got two X's going to one Y. Everybody see it now? The many X's are going to one Y. So how do we write the ordered pairs? Let me see if you know. What's the first ordered pair? Because that's another thing I want to make sure y'all could do. What is the first ordered pair? Excellent. 2, 9. What's the second ordered pair? 3, 9. Isn't that true? Because 3 is also going to 9. And what's the other ones now? 4, 11. And then 5, 12. So let's look at it. And I'm going to be honest with you. Listen to me, guys. It does not matter which one they give you. If they give you this version, you should be able to tell it's a one-to-one. If they give you this version, you should be able to tell if it's a one-to-one. Because if you look at this, right, you realize one number going to one number. That means they're all going to different numbers. Let's look at this one. What about this is special? Do you realize that you have two numbers going into a 9? Everybody see that? So this would be a many to one number. You see how it makes sense? So you should be able to look at the diagram. Yes, that's an easy one to find. That is a many to one. But you have to be able to look at the ordered pairs and tell if it's a many to one. Everybody see what I'm showing you? If you got it, say got it. No numbers going to 10. 10 is just here. That's why you call it codomain. You know why this is called a codomain? Because all the numbers not assigned. I think who was talking to me about it. So let's look at the difference between a range and a codomain. A range, all the numbers are connected. So you realize every element in X is connected to every element in Y. Everybody see that? This is why you call this a range, because every number is connected. Here, is every number connected? No. So this is what we call a codomain. I'll be honest with you, this is not really important, but at least you understand what it means, okay? So codomain, range, same thing. So everybody okay with the many to one? So look at this. 2 and 3 both goes to 9. So that's why we call it a many to one. So far, 1 to 1. Next one, many to one. What do you think the next one is? The third one. 1 to many. 1 to many. This one is pretty easy. 1 to many. It means that, what does that mean? One element in the X going towards what? Many elements in the Y. So let's draw an example quickly. So let's say again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's take a look at this one. If we're doing a 1 to many, look at this now. Don't let these lines confuse you. Look at where the lines them start and look at where the lines them end. So let me ask this question. Anybody seen it here? The 1 to many? Look at it. You don't pay attention to the one that's going directly. You look at the one that's not going directly. Which one is the one that's going to many? A1. 1 is going both to 7, and 1 is also going to what? 9. So let's write the ordered pairs. What's my first ordered pair? 1, 7. Don't forget your brackets. What's the second ordered pair? 1, 9. Very good. Next ordered pair. Where's 2 going towards? 2 is going towards 8. And the last one is what? 4 to 10. Everybody see that? Then how do we look at these numbers and see? If suppose we didn't have the diagram, can we tell which one this one is? Look at it. One number. What is the one number? 1. Look at it. We got ones twice. Is going to many Y's. So that's how we could tell this is a 1 to many. All right. Everybody ready for your challenge? To see if you understand the different tree. It got many to many, but nobody care about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we don't really pay attention to the many to many. You just focus on these 3. Out of these 3, 2 of them is functions. Anybody know which ones are the function ones? So the first, second, and third, which one? Obviously, the first one is a function. Anything to 1 is a function. So let me just write that quickly. Anything to 1 is a function. So that means if anything to 1 is a function, which ones are the functions? Number 1 is a function. A 1 to 1 is a function. And number 2 is a function. And that means number 3 is what? Not a function. So this is not a function. So let me just write that over so we could see it clearly. Which ones are the functions? 1 to 1 is a function. Many to 1 is a function. So this is yes. And 1 to many is not a function. Which part? How do you remember? How do you stick it in your head? It has to go to 1. It has to go to 1. That is the part we care about the most. Everybody with me? If it does not go to 1 way, it is not a function. Because in the exam, sometimes it is asked you, determine whether or not this relation is a function. That's an actual question that comes. So they're going to give you a bunch of relations and say which ones are functions and which one are not. Okay? And when we start functions, you're going to see why. So everybody good to go with this one? So are you ready for the challenge? If you're ready for the challenge, say ready like, don't say ready like Freddy, but just say ready. If you are ready for the challenge. Sorry for my singing, okay? But bad singing is healthy, you know? Come on, nobody else ready? Let's go. Put some pep in your step. So all I need to know is if it's a function or not. So you're going to state which relation it is first. And then say if it's a function or not. All right. What type of relation is this? Is this a 1-to-1, 1 to many, many to 1? Which one? Because you can't state if it's a function without saying which one it is. Talk to me, people. Is it a 1-to-1, 1 to many, many to 1? Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at it. Excellent job, everybody, because what do you realize? 1x going to 1y, 1x going to 1y. All the x's are different, all the y's are different. So this is a 1-to-1 relation. Therefore, it is a function. Big up yourself. Number 2, there we go. 1, 3, 2, 5, 3, 7, 2, 8. What type of relation is this? What type of relation is this? What type of relation is this? Pay attention, look at it. Look at if it is one number going to different numbers or different numbers going to one number. That is what's going to help you. Look at it, you can see. Which orders you think we gotta pay attention to? We definitely know it's not a one-to-one. Do we agree? How do we know it's not a one-to-one? Because we have two twos. This is the thing that stands out to us. All the Y's are not different. Everybody agree? No, listen, look at it. This ain't the same two. This ain't the same two. So that ain't one number going to different numbers. So 2 going to 5 and 2 going to 8. That ain't one number going to many numbers. You see the difference? Why it's not a many to one? Because it is one number going to many numbers. Do you see it, my peoples? Do you see it? Talk to me. Do you see it? So let me try another one. So is this a function? Yes or no? That means this is not a function because is it going to 1? If it's not going to 1, it's not a function, right? So this is not function. I hope everybody learning something, you know. Let me try another one now. 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 7. Let's go. Let's see who thinking. What type of relation is this now, people? Is there anything that is duplicated? Is there any number that is showing up twice? Or all numbers are different? Which one is this one? So I see the 7. The 7 is what is being special here. So I can highlight the 7. So now what we got to pay attention to? What do you realize is going on here? Different x's are going to the same 7. So what does that represent now? If different numbers going to the 1, 7, this one going to be what? A many to 1. Look at it, you see. Many numbers is going to one number, the 7. Is this a function? Yes or no? You're forgetting something important. Anything to 1. That in the rule. Anything to 1. Once it goes to 1, it is a function, right or wrong? So because this is many to 1, that means it is a function. Everybody starting to feel a little clearer and understanding what you should be looking for now? Let's try another one. Practice makes perfect. We're going to do 2 more. 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, 6, 12. Talk to me now. What type of relation? What type of relation is this? All right, so one person said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, excellent. This is a one-to-one because all the x's are different, all the y's are different. So this is one-to-one, and therefore this is a function. So this is the last one. Don't let it bust your head, guys. -2, 0. -1, 5. 0, -2. 1, 3. I bet this bust out your head. What is this? What? I am very impressed. I am impressed. Very good job, everybody. I was expecting this to catch y'all. You know why I expected this to catch y'all? Because I repeated 2 sets of numbers. Y'all realize that? -2 is used twice and 0 is used twice. But what is different? You have to compare the x's to the y's. All the x's are different. And all the y's are different. Even though it's the same numbers, the y's is what you got to be looking at. So it means that this is a one-to-one, therefore it is a function or not a function. This means y'all understand how you're learning. This is very good. I'm very proud of everybody. Big up yourself. So that was a challenge and y'all passed the challenge. Okay, so Last one for the road. Last one for the road. What type of relation is this? Okay, that's one person. And she come up with confidence. Love that. Love that. Excellent job, everybody. Very good. Very good. Because which number is the number that double in for the x? The 2, right? And we see that the 2 is going to two different numbers, which is 3 and 9. And so this would be a 1 to many. Function or not a function? Not a function. Excellent. How we feeling? I'm very impressed by you guys today. Very, very good. How we feeling? So what we've done so far, we understand the relations and the different types. We understand what makes a relation a function. It must be one-to-one or one-to-many. We also understand how to represent a relation and a function 3 different ways. We understand the ordered pairs, we understand the mappings, and we understand given algebra notation using the f of x. I mean, f of x is equal to y. Now we are going into the harder CXC questions. So let me know if you guys are ready, because we're jumping right into it. Ready? Let me know if you're ready. Let me know if you're ready, because we're going to start getting into the inverse function and the composite functions, which is the 2 types of functions that give students a lot of trouble in the exam. And then they're going to have the basic inverse, and then you're going to have the advanced inverse. So this is where the real challenge is going to come in. My next question is, do you guys know how to plot graphs? We're not going to focus on anything with graphs today because we won't have the time. So today's all calculations. Next week, we're going to plot the graphs. So you may need your own graph paper because it's important to practice this. This is a skill. Everybody hear me? So next weekend, once I'm not working and I'm able to have a session next week, we all need graph paper, okay? Now, this question has come a lot, and this is the question that students just leave out. But before we get into that, let's practice a quick question. F of x is equal to 2x plus 2. And the question gonna ask you to find x if f of x is equal to 10. Do you know what to do with this question here? So all I need you to tell me yes or no. They say find x if f of x is equal to 10. What is the answer? Someone said 22. Is that true? Do you agree? Talk to me. Somebody else said 4. I need you to tell me what you think. Guess what? Guess what, guys? That's wrong. They did not tell us must find f of 10. You realize that? Do you realize they gave us the answer and they asked us to find x? You see the difference? So in a case like this is a solving question. You got to do the opposite. What does f of x stands for? Dane, tell us up here what f of x stands for. 2x plus 3, 2x plus 2. So you have to say 2x plus 2 is equal to 10. And then the next step is to solve for x. When I say solve for x, what does that mean? We did a lot of this in algebra. What does solve for x mean? And to transpose and to get rid of everything so that you have x on the left-hand side by itself. Talk to me, people. Do you see the difference? I did not say find f of 10. I told you that the function, the answer, they're saying the output. This is the output. This is why. So it's like they give you the answer and they ask you to go backwards. Find the x. What number you got to put in to get 10. That's essentially what this question is asking you for. You see what I mean now? So let's work it out the algebra way. I like when I hear, oh, yes, oh, me, I love that. That means we understand it. So let's go. 2x plus 2 equal 10. What do we get rid of first? In the extra stuff. So I need to move this plus 2 over. When I move it over, what happens to it when you move anything over? It becomes minus 2, right? So we're going to end up with 2x is equal to 10 minus 2. So 2x is equal to what? 8. How do I get rid of this 2 here? We do the opposite. What is the opposite of multiplying by 2? You divide by 2 on both sides. This and this going to cancel. So x is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is what? 4. I need all to copy down this example, please. This is very important. Students make this mistake in the exam all the time. They don't just jump and substitute and then stop. No, it's the opposite. So copy this down. When you finish it, done. I'm going to give you a next question and see if you could try it on your own. B, f of x is equal to, I'm going to give you a harder one, okay? Don't panic, don't punk out. 4x minus 3. If f of x is equal to 17, find x. Try this one for me, please. Tell me where you get your x value. So as I was telling y'all before, you realize how important algebra is. Another thing I wanted to tell y'all is that only half of the class or half of the students attempted the algebra quiz. Please note, the algebra quiz has in the hardest possible questions. And may look into see if you get 0. The point is to try. There were a few students who tried more than once, and every time they try, their grade went up. That's the point. So please stop being afraid of not knowing what to do. The idea behind it is for you to try it and see what you know and what you don't know. I hope everybody understanding what I'm saying. The idea is to start looking at questions that are hard like that and trying them and seeing what you get, because you just get the answers at the end. So I'm going to encourage everybody, if you have not done it yet, to do it, try it. Even if you get 0, try it. Get accustomed to seeing hard questions like that from now. So let's take a look and see what we get. Let's see what we get. So I'm seeing some answers in the chat. So I'm going to start off by setting up my question. If f of x is equal to 17 and f of x is equal to the instruction, I'm just going to say f of 4x minus 3 is equal to 17. So first question, did everybody have this part right? Did you set it out properly like this? Okay, who do we get rid of first? We get rid of the minus 3 first by carrying it over. And when it goes over, what does it become? Plus 3, right? So we're going to end up with 4x is equal to 17 plus 3. So 4x is equal. And I know a lot of y'all keep forgetting, when you carry over something, the sign changes. So if it's minus 3, it's going to become plus 3. That's how some of y'all are getting now. You see, don't forget the rules. So it's going to become 17 plus 3, which is what? 20. And then you divide by 4. So then, you know, this is going to cancel, right? Boom, boom. X is equal to 5. Don't worry, you can get it. Practice makes perfect. Everybody with me? Should we try one more? Can we try one more? So we're going to try a harder one. We're going to try a harder one. Let's try a harder one. F of x is equal to x squared plus 6. Do not panic. Everybody should remember how to get rid of a square. Who could tell me how to get rid of a square? What's the opposite of squaring? A square root. Because we did this before, right? If f of x is equal to 32, no, sorry, not 32, 22. 22, find, hold on there, guys, give me 1 minute. Yeah, find x. Everybody work this question for me, please. No punk vibes. Don't let the square make you feel like you can't work it out or it's too hard for you. I need every single person, even if you don't even post your answer, I need you to get your pen to paper and work it out. Anybody get an answer yet? So one person got an answer. Anybody else? If you're stuck, you can tell me if you're stuck. Because we're moving on right after. I see some answers coming in. Excellent. Because after this, my awesome people, we are going into the real functions now. Inverse and composite functions. So I'm waiting to see the answers. Let's go, guys. What's my answer? What is x equal to? I like what I'm seeing. I need everybody to try, giving you a few more seconds. Remember, today we're focusing on functions only. Next week, we're going to focus on graph only. And we're going to try to do as much graph as possible, the basic graph and the advanced graph, which is 97. Let me see. All right, so let's take a look, guys. Step 1 would be to put two of them equal to each other, right? Because if f of x is equal to x squared plus 6, and they tell us the answer is 22, all we need to do is match them up. So we're going to say x squared plus 6 is equal to 22. Who do we get rid of first? Obviously, the plus 6, right? So we get rid of the plus 6 by moving it over. And when it comes over, what does it become? It becomes minus, right? So x squared is equal to 22 minus 6. I hope that if I were to look in your books, I am seeing all of these steps shown in your working. So x squared is equal to 16. Yeah? So if I want x, I need to get rid of what? I need to get rid of the x squared. So how do you get rid of a square? By square rooting. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the opposite side. So these two going to cancel, leaving us back with x. And we know the square root of 16 is 4. Because how we know that? 4 times 4 is 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. So excellent job. Jai, you see how you get 36? You see what the mistake happened? All right. Excellent. All right, how everybody feeling so far? Everybody feeling okay about functions? You realize functions not that hard, to be honest with you. Functions is literally, if you have -4, it can be -4. You want to try one more harder one? Okay, I love the energy. It can be -4, to be honest with you, but usually, and let me show you guys why it could be -4, but they wouldn't expect you to sit there. It can't hurt to sit there, because if you look at it, everybody watching, before I go through this example, -4 times -4. What is the answer of that? -4 times -4 is what? This is a question for everybody. +16, right? So it means then that if I square root positive 16, I could get either positive 4 or negative 4. And this is actually very necessary when we're doing advanced algebra. So you see why it could be both of them? This is what you call advanced thinking, yeah? But everybody see it? Because if you got 4 times 4, a regular 4 times 4 will give you 16. And you know a negative 4 times a negative 4 will give you 16 as well. So if you square root 16, you could either get positive 4 or negative 4. Which one you want me to go back over? This one? So let's go back over it one more time for somebody, and then I'm going to give you all a really hard one. So we had x squared plus 6 equal 22. Ready? So we got rid of the plus 6 first, and you understand that part, right? So when you bring over the plus 6, it becomes what? Negative 6, right? So you're left back with x squared is equal to 22 minus 6. So x squared is equal to 16. So let me know if you understand this part up to here. X squared is equal to 16. For everybody else along, I'm going to give you a question to start. Oh, you saw your mistake now? Excellent. All right, guys, let's try this one for the road. A challenging one. Let me see here. It had a hard one here. Let me see if this can bust out ahead. Try that for me, please. That's the hardest question for now. Tell me where you get. The challenge in this question here is the negative sign. Huh? So I don't want you to just follow all the rules like what we've been doing all along and tell me what you get. I see a 3. Anybody get anything else? If you could answer this question, it means you're locked. You're good to go. You're set good like an ice in a freezer. Anybody stuck? I'm going to do this 2 ways because you could do it 2 ways to get the same answer. So let's try the first way. Since f of x is equal to that, f of x equal to 6, you're going to say 15 minus x squared is equal to positive 6. So if you look at it, what's the difference between this one and the other ones? This one, what is in front? The x, a minus sign. So if I were to move over 15, right? Watch what's going to happen. If this is positive 15, when you move it over, what does it become? Minus 15, right? The negative sign not going away, you know, it's going to stay right there. The only thing moving is the 15. So you're going to end up having 6 minus 15. So you're going to end up having negative x squared is equal to negative 9. How much people got up until this point? Why y'all so quiet? What's going on? All right, let us smash all up. That's the next way. I was gonna do it, to be honest with you. I was gonna do it that way. So this is the first way you could do it. Start doing it both ways, because this is not the way I would have done it. I just using this one as the basic steps. Now, because both sides got negative, you could divide by -1 to cancel the negative sign. So this gonna cancel, this gonna cancel. So you're gonna end up with positive x squared is equal to 9. So to get rid of the square, you square root both sides. And so you're gonna end up with x is equal to 3. The smarter way to do it, I just doing it just because this is just the practical steps. The smarter way to do it, let's start back from the beginning. 15 minus x squared is equal to 6. The smarter way to do it is to move minus x squared over. And when we move it over, what is it going to become? A positive. And then move the 6 over. And when the 6 move over, what does it become? -6. So what would you end up with? 15 minus 6 is equal to x squared. And from here, you would have 9 is equal to x squared. And instead of leaving it like this, you just switch it around. But let's square root both sides. So we know we're going to have 9 is equal to x. The right way, x is equal to, not 9, sorry, 3. X is equal to 3. Which one you prefer, the first way or the second way? Which one you prefer, the first way or the second way? The second way is the smartest way to work. Make it positive. You make something positive by jumping it over to the other side. But you could use whichever method you feel most confident in, okay? All right, guys, we need to move on now to inverse functions. Everybody good to go with this one? This was really hard. Well, not really hard, but it was the hardest version of the question. So I hope you were able to understand how to find x given the function. Now we're getting into inverse. So, Lord, what does inverse mean, first of all? Anybody, when you hear inverse, what word comes to mind? Reverse, to do the opposite. So let's get this clear from now. What is the inverse of addition? Come on, everybody, let we go. What is the inverse of addition? Excellent. Subtraction. What is the inverse of multiplication? Very good. Division. What is the inverse of squaring? Square root. Excellent. What is the inverse of up? What's the inverse of up? If I tell you up, what's the opposite of up? That's a trick question, eh? Down. Okay. All right. So the inverse, right? If a normal function, what does a normal function do? A normal function takes you from x to what? In x to y. Talk to me. Facts or facts? Yes or no? Because this is something important we got to get down. We have to mash up this inverse and we got to mash up composite functions. So if a regular function takes us from x to y, then the inverse function, which is written like this -1 is what we call the inverse. So the inverse function is going to do the opposite, which is what? Take us from y back to x. Everybody with me? So there are some steps we need to take when finding the inverse of a function. So if you are ready, say ready. If you are ready, say ready. Say you're ready. Da, da, da. All right, let's go. Tug energy, tug energy, tug energy. So this is a topic we're going into now. Finding the inverse. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Students usually do very poor in inverse and composite. So our job is to make sure when we leave today, we could say we feel a little stronger, a little bit more confident in finding the inverse of a function. Now there's two levels, basic and standard. We're gonna start off with basic first, which means this is the simpler question, linear questions, which means they only have one X value in the question, okay? So I'm gonna give you a quick example of one. I'm looking for an easy one so that we could start off positively. Hold on down. Let's find sorry, I have a textbook, but the textbook just jumps straight into hard questions, which I like, but I really want us to start off with something not so hard. So give me 1 minute, guys. All right, I'll find one. 4x plus 6. So example. So we're gonna learn through examples because we ain't got enough time to do notes and do all this, okay? So we're gonna just start off with an example. So the function is f of x is equal to 4x plus 6. My first question to you is what operations? How many operations here? How many operations? And because of the time, if we want to finish everything, we need to put some pep in we step. So I need all to answer as fast as possible. How many operations are in this equation here? 4x plus 6. Excellent. That is right. There are two operations. What are the two operations? The two operations is multiply and add. Addition, right? So at the end of this question, how do we know if our answer is wrong? Shouldn't it have the opposite? So our answer must have instead what? In division and subtraction. If when you get your answer, you have multiply and add, you know your answer wrong. Because at the end, you must have the opposite of what you started off with. So let's go through it. Step 1. These are the steps I'm going to write out. Step 1. And I think y'all need to copy down this example. Express in terms of x and y. What do I mean? They want to say f of x. We know from the beginning, let's go all the way back. What does f of x stands for? When we see f of x, what does it mean? Doesn't it mean y? Everybody see that? Isn't it true? So everywhere we see f of x, doesn't that mean y? So all we're going to do is replace or express it in terms of x and y. So replace f of x. So we're going to end up with y is equal to 4x plus 6. So before we continue, everybody understand if you got it, you got it. Don't focus on the writing right now. Focus on understanding. So I need to see got it coming down in the chat a lot faster. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, step 2. Anybody know what step 2 is? Step 2, interchange is 3 steps. Interchange x and y. What does that mean? Everywhere we see an x, we're going to switch it for a y. Everywhere we see y, we're going to switch it for x. So what does that mean? Instead of y being in front, you're going to end up with x is equal to 4y plus 6. Yeah? That's easy. And then step 3, this is the challenging part what students struggle with. Solve or make y the subject. You need to memorize these steps. Make y the subject. So let's go through these 2 steps again. 3 steps, sorry. What was the first step? Express in terms of x and y. That means you replace the f of x with y to have an equation that looks like this. Step 2, interchange x and y. That means switch them. So everywhere you see y, you put an x. Everywhere you see x, you put a y. Step 3, make y the subject. We didn't do this in algebra already. Doesn't that mean that if we want y as a subject, we need y on a side by itself? Right or wrong? Doesn't that mean then that we need to get rid of who? We need to get rid of the plus 6 and the 4. Everybody think we could handle that part? Talk to me.
Carried over.
So let's do it. X is equal to 4y plus 6. Who needs to move first? The 4 or the 6? It would be the 6. So we move that over. So what do we end up with? We end up with x minus 6. You know why it's minus? When the plus 6 goes over, it changes sign. Is equal to 4y. We want y alone, so we need to get rid of the 4. How do we get rid of the 4? We divide by 4 on both sides. Please note that you realize I am subdividing by everything. I have to divide everything by 4. So on this side, what's going to happen? This and this going to cancel. So you're going to end up with, all I'm going to do is switch so that the y in front. Y is therefore equal to x minus 6 divided by 4. Isn't that the opposite of what we started off with? At the beginning, we started off with plus 6. At the end, we ended up with minus 6. At the top, we had times 4. At the bottom, we had divided by 4. So everybody see how we know the answer is right? Now, my question is, did everybody was able to follow each step, all 3 steps? Yes or no? Because it should be something that you realize is a combination of everything we've done before. Were you able to follow? Because we're going to do another one, eh? And I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to give you one to do by yourself. So, the example B. Oh, yes, thank you. There's one more step. We don't leave the answer like this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Step 4 is express as inverse function. So what you do now, you see how in the beginning, we went from f of x to y. We now need to carry it back to that. So we switch out the y with f inverse equals your answer, which is x minus 6 over 4. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's your answer. It must be like this. So the next example, f of x is equal to 3x minus 2. Y'all ready for us to try this one now? I'm going to write out all the steps again. Step 1, express as x and y. So what do we say? Y is equal to 3x minus 2. Step 2, interchange. So what do we say? Instead of, we switch x and y, so it'll be x is equal to 3y minus 2. Step 3, make y the subject. I want y'all to do the last part for me and tell me what the answer is, please. So I'm going to give you guys 1 minute, and once y'all finish that, we're good to go. Tell me what the answer is for this one. For those who may need the other side to look at as an example. What did I do? Oh. Finish it for me, please, and tell me what your answer is. I hope y'all getting through. This topic is a doing topic. You have to be able to do it on your own. You have to be able to do it and get an answer. So I'm encouraging everybody to try. Even if you don't post your answer, still try it. All right, I see some answers coming in. How do you back check and make sure your answer is right? You have to look at what you started off with and what you ended off with. What you end with should be the opposite of what you start with. So if you had a -2 in the beginning, should you have a -2 in the end? If you had a ×3 in the beginning, should you have a ×3 in the end? Remember, a big part of this is being able to check your answer. You see what I mean? You have to be able to check your answer and see if you are on the right track or not. So I'm going to start it and see. Thank you guys for sharing. So we're going to start off with the equation. X is equal to 3y minus 2. So who should I move first? The -2. Do not forget, guys, when you move something across, the sign changes. So it's going to become what? It's going to become +2, no? So you're going to have x plus 2 is equal to 3y. Yeah? Then we get rid of the 3 by dividing on both sides. So what do we end up with? I'm just going to rewrite it one time. So that means y is equal to x plus 2 over 3. And what's your final answer? That means f inverse is equal to x plus 2. Sorry, I have 2 here, but it's supposed to be a 3 over 3. I need y'all to tell me out of 10 how you feel about this so far. Out of 10. That's everybody, out of 10. Can we try another one together? But I just want the answer. Because this is the easy one. Remember, this is the basic one. This is not even the hard one, okay? This is the easy one. So looking, everybody, let's go. There are 39 persons here. Send me your score out of 10. Because if you look at the steps are easy, right? You just got to pay attention to the last one when you have to make y the subject. Okay? So we're going to try one more easy one before I give you a hard one. Is that okay? So this is a challenge to everybody to try it. I'm going to leave the steps here for you if you want to just back check and look at what we did. So try this one for me, and then we're going into a harder one. F of x is equal to 5x minus 2. Let's go. Everybody, get me my answer, please. Do this as fast as you can. Post your answer when you get it. Or at least let me know if you're finished, okay? Very good, everybody. Very good. Very, very good. I just want to encourage everybody to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Get you an answer. Get you an answer. So I'm just going to start working on it so long. I'm going to do it the short way, right? Without writing step 1 and step 2. So we're going to start off with y is equal to 5x minus 2. And then x is equal to 5y minus 2. Then I'm going to make y the subject. So I'm going to move this over. So we're going to end up with x plus 2 is equal to 5y. Going to divide by 5 on both sides. So this and this going to cancel. So that means y is equal to x plus 2 over 5. So that means f inverse of x is equal to x plus 2 over 5. Yeah? I hope everybody feeling a little better about it. Now we need to move on to a harder question. And then we're going to try touch on composite functions. And then we're done. How y'all feeling about this one so far? The overall topic, y'all okay? Y'all feeling good? You realize it's just really algebra with some specific rules. To be honest with you, question 4. Sure. This is just an extension of algebra, like I said. Follow the rules. You have to memorize the rules. This is not gonna be given to you on the formula sheet. You have to do this and remember this out your head. So I hope you guys were able to take a picture at least of the questions we did so that you could write it out after. And if you feel like you're not understanding anything, you could sit down with it and see which part is the part that's giving you trouble. Okay? Now, this is a hard question now, because obviously we ain't come here to like play no punk vibes. So we have to take a look at some harder questions, yeah? So let's take a look at a hard question. Let's get down here. So this is still basic, by the way, still basic, but this is a harder basic question. So f of x is equal to x squared plus 3. This is supposed to be easy, right? I'm just going to do it quickly so everybody see. So this is more just a demonstration. We know what to do. Even though I got a square, we know the opposite of a square is square root. So that shouldn't bother us. So we're going to start off. Step 1, express as x and y. So we're going to have y is equal to x squared plus 3. What is step 2? Step 2 is interchange, right? So instead of y is x, instead of x is y. How we looking? Good, right? I hope so. Hope everybody following. What is the next step, which is important? Make y the subject. Wait, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I do that a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody see that? See, you see, sometimes these are the mistakes we make. We're going so fast, we're writing new numbers. So very good observation. So I'm going to move the plus 3 over. So what we're going to end up with is x minus 3 is equal to y squared. I hope everybody following so far. And because we want y from y squared, we should know what to do. We should do what? Square root both sides. So what we're going to have left back is y is equal to, because this and this going to cancel each other, is equal to the square root of x minus 3. And so the final answer is f inverse of x is equal to the square root of x minus 3. Everybody see how I did this one? This ain't same thing as what we was doing before, solving, changing the subject of a formula. If you got it, say got it. Because now we're going into the advanced inverse and then we're done with inverse. So if you got it, say got it. If you don't got it, that's okay. Say don't got it. I'm watching the chat right now. So it means then that you guys should be able to start looking at question 4 and feeling more confident with question number 4. This is the first half of question 4 though, because the second half of question 4 is the graph part, like finding the midpoint and the gradient and the length of the line and finding the y-intercept. That's what we're going to do next week, okay? But the first part is these basic questions and you should be good. All right, so let's take a look at the advanced section. No, obviously it's the same steps with a little difference. So I need y'all to just follow me. Nobody should be writing, follow me. Make sure you understand, okay? What's the difference between a basic and an advanced question? F of x is equal to x over x1, x minus 1. Anybody could tell the difference already? What's the difference already? In the examples before, how many x's did we have to work around? Ain't just one. Everybody see that? It's just one x somewhere and that's it. Versus here, how much x's they give us to work with? One in the numerator, one in the denominator. So you see the difference already? All right, so step one is the same. Express as x and y. So the first step is the same thing. So instead of f of x equal that, you would have y is equal to x over x minus 1. Let me write this a little better and bigger so it's easier for us to follow. X over x minus 1. Anybody know how to change anything like this to a linear equation? What do I mean by a linear equation? So that it does not have a numerator and a denominator. Anybody knows how to do that? I think we touched on that when we did algebra. So all I need is a yes or no. Do you know how to make this into a linear equation? That means one long line and nothing on top of nothing. So that's one yes. No, no. Anybody else? Yes or no, please? I just need to know how deep I have to teach this, or if I could go straight into it. Okay, I get more no's. All right, so the trick about this, right, guys, and this is for any subject. This is for any topic. Anytime you end up with something, let me show you. Let me use an easy example. Anytime you end up with, let's say you have x is equal to m over p, and you want to know what the answer is. You want to make it into a linear equation. How do I put x as a fraction? I represent it as x over 1. Everybody know that, right? You could change anything into a fraction by putting it over 1. The next step is to cross multiply. So that means I multiply x times p and 1 times m. Everybody see that? So x times p is what? xp. Let me use a different color. This is a trick you use for not only this topic, is in general. So x times p is xp is equal to 1 times m is m. So you see how we move from this fraction to a linear equation? Everybody see that? Talk to me. Let's do another one just to make sure we understand. R is equal to m over s. I don't want a fraction, I want a linear equation. What do? I put this over 1 and I cross multiply. So that means r times s is equal to 1 times m. I cross multiply them. And so r times s is rs, 1 times m is m, and I take it from there. See that? So using this concept now, maybe I should have let y'all copy down that or take a picture because that's important. This skill is important. Okay? So for those who need to take a picture now. Okay, we're going into the question now. So we're going to continue though. We're going to continue. What's step 2? Anybody remember step 2 is the same step number 2. Step 2 is what? Interchange, right? So let's interchange. So we're going to end up with x is equal to y over y minus 1. Everybody see that so far? Everybody okay with everything? You realize it's the same thing, right? So I just checking in before I go any further. If you're good to go up until this point, tell me good to go before I continue. Because as you see, it's literally the same steps. So long. Okay. Step 3, make y the subject. No, you see why this is an issue to make y the subject? Why is it a little difficult to make y the subject? Because we realize that y is where? Isn't y both in the numerator and denominator, right or wrong? So if I have this, make y the subject, I got to get rid of, or I got to manipulate two y's. So first thing first, we don't want to leave it like this. So we do the cross multiplying thing that I just show you. So we put x over 1 and we multiply, right? So we're going to say 1 times y is equal to x times x minus 1. And because this is two things, we put it in a bracket, y minus 1. So let's pause right here. Maybe I should have used different colors for that part. So let me use a different color so it's not as confusing. So let's put this over 1 and use yellow. So we're going to say 1 times y, x times this. So that's what we did. 1 times y is equal to x times y minus 1. What does brackets mean? Brackets mean to multiply, right? So let's go. So I know 1 times y is y equal to, and you always get rid of your brackets. So we multiply x times y minus x times 1. All of this ain't what we did before. All of this is algebra that we did before in expanding brackets. So what we're going to end up with, y is equal to xy minus x. Everybody see how we got here so far? All of this is algebra. No, what did the steps ask us to do? Make y the subject. But we got a y over here, we got y over here. So we're trying to get all the y's over on this side. So all I'm going to do is move this over. You confused? No, because in algebra, we know x times y in xy. Didn't we learn now? A times b is ab, right? M times p is mp. All of this is basic algebra, guys. We did all of this before. So don't forget, you could always rewatch our algebra videos. Okay, so let's go. We're going to move this over. When I move this over, what does it become? It's going to become y minus x, y is equal to negative x. Anybody know how to pull out y? What operation you just use to pull out y? If I want to take out y from this, you factorize y. I'm just going to go through the whole steps and then explain after. So how do I factorize y? Both of them got y in common, right? So I pull out y or divide by y. So we're going to have y outside. And when I divide by y divided by y is what? 1 minus this y going to cancel as x is equal to negative x. And I want y alone. So to get rid of this, I divide by 1 minus x. I know you're a little confused, but don't panic. Divided by 1 minus x. So this bracket going to cancel this bracket, and you're going to be left back with y is equal to negative x over 1 minus x. And that's your answer. So then you're going to say f inverse is equal to negative x over, sorry, I don't know why I have y down here. That's supposed to be an x. 1 minus x. Yep. Yeah, it's a rule. Now, to be honest with you guys, you see why this is the advanced version? Out of 10, how much you understand of everything I did? So if you only understand half, it's 5. You could be honest with me. Because again, I know a lot of teachers don't even bother teach this. They just teach you the basics, and then when students see questions like this, they don't even bother answer it because they don't know it. This one is hard. It's facts. It is hard, but it is not impossible. It is not impossible. Did you pick up anything? Did you understand at least something? I need everybody to talk to me. Talk to me. Because and that's another thing. Not because you didn't understand one part means you ain't understand nothing at all. Stop doing that. Focus on what you know. Focus on what you know, and then realize which part you're not strong in, and then you focus on that part after. So everybody understand until it switch part. So is the changing or the subject is what kind of give y'all the problem? I'm looking at the feedback so I can know which one to oh, this one need a whole session. Oh Lord. So here's what I'm gonna put off composite, and we're gonna use 10 minutes to just practice this one until something click. Is that okay? Can we do that? Even if more of it click, then none of it click is better. Getting 2 out of 3 marks is better than getting 0 out of 4 marks. Right or wrong? And we attempting this with a gangster mentality. You are not going to be tested on easy things for the exam. You see what I mean? If we could look at these hard questions and figure our way through them now, that's the point. Because I could give all easy answers and I leave in here feeling good, and then the exam come and slap in our face, and then I gonna message me, but I must be some questions come I never see in my life. You ain't prefer to see them now. We have to see them now. Stop being afraid of the hard questions. Practice them now. Get over them now. I just tell my students them all the time. I will not give you easy questions, and then when the exam come, you're shocked. You get a heart attack. You start to cry. So we need to change our energy towards these things. That's why we are here, to look at the hard questions that we will normally be able to do and figure our way through them. Okay? Remember hashtag no punk vibes? My voice going on all. Sorry, I just gotta be preaching a little bit because a big part of performance is confidence. Okay? It's about being positive. So let me just check something here, and we're gonna try it again together. Okay? So give me 2 minutes. Let me just see something here. There's another way of trying to figure which one is the easier way, because to be honest, it may seem hard, but the other way harder. So I'm here looking at another way to teach it, but it's actually harder. So you want us to give it another try? I'm listening. Should we give it another try, guys? Oh no, you want to end here. Tell me what y'all want to do. I could only do as much as y'all are willing to do. Mm. All right, let's try one more and then we finish, okay? So at least we're going to end off on what a difficult question is. And next week, Sunday, what I'm going to do then is just do a few more to practice, and then we take it from there. So let me get my pen. So we're going to finish after this one. So let's try another one. So let's try this one. F of x. I think there was a small mistake in the one before. I'm going to check it back and get back to y'all. 2x minus 1 from the textbook. X plus 1. First of all, when you look at this, you could tell if is this basic or advanced. That's my first question. Is this basic or advanced? Come on, let's go. Let's finish strong. Let's finish more confident. So the first question, is this a basic question or an advanced question? So you should already know what you should be trying to do or what's supposed to be happening. Advanced, right? Okay. So let me change this question. I have a better one that's maybe a little bit clearer. Something similar is the opposite. Hold on there. So nobody should be writing, just follow with me. Just the point is just to follow the steps, okay? 2x minus 5. This is a lot, but it's a hard question. But still. All right, so step 1 is instead of having it like this, how do we write it? Y, right? We interchange with y. So what should we have first? Y is equal to 3x plus 2 over 2x minus 5. So each step, I just need you to tell me yes or no, if you understand the first step. That's all I need, guys. Yes or no, so I could know everybody understand this part at least. We're going through it together. Let's go. No punk vibes. All right, step 2. Let's write that out. Step 2. What's step 2 again? Step 2 is to do what? Interchange, right? That's the easy part. So everywhere you see x, you put y. Everywhere you see y, you put x. So you're going to end up with x is equal to 3y plus 2 over 2y minus 5. Let's go. For this step, yes or no? Talk to me, guys. Let me go. Very good. So that means we're on the same page, right? Step 3. What's step 3? Make y the subject. Now, this is where the real work comes in now. Now, what is the first thing I want to do? Instead of having it as a fraction, I want it as a long line. Do everybody understand that part? We want it as a long line. So how do we turn it into a long line? What was the thing that I did to change it into a long line? A linear equation, yes. What did I do? Because that's the part you got to remember. What did I do to turn it into a linear equation? Excellent. You cross multiply, right? Everybody with me so far? We cross multiply. So what am I cross multiplying then? I'm going to multiply x times this and 1 times that. Everybody agree with that? So let's multiply it then. So we're going to have x out here. X times, what am I multiplying x by? Main say, you tell me which number I'm multiplying by x. So what should go inside the bracket? Is it the 3y or the 2y? Excellent. So it's the 2y minus 5 equal. We're going to go on the other side. A1 times the top. And you should know that anything times 1 is itself. Yeah? So you just got to write it back. 3y plus 2. So this is where we reach. Talk to me. Do you understand this part? Come on, guys. Talk to me. Let me know, because we're going through step by step. So that means we should be able to reach here. At least we should be able to make it into a linear equation. All right. Now, this part now is where we're going to need the advanced algebra skills. And let me explain why you have to do everything that you need to do. I didn't put it, you know why I didn't put it? Because you should know 1 times anything is itself. 1 times 3 is 3. We skipping that 1 times part. You see what I mean? Okay, so everybody good to go here. Now, if I want to make y the subject, why is this harder than the example before? Don't we have 2 y's? Right or wrong? We got to write a y on the left and we have a y on the right. Do I want that, or I want all the y's over on one side together and all the numbers and everybody else on the next side? Isn't that true? Because that's the part we need to understand. We need to reshuffle them. Now look at this. Look at where this y is. Can I just move this y? No, because what is blocking me? I got x outside here. And what does this x tell me I need to do first? And to multiply out the brackets. For me to get to this y, don't I have to multiply it out first? So I'm going to write here multiply, because this is the hardest part, and once you understand why, you're good to go. Multiply out the brackets to get the y. So let me pause here. Everybody understand why I'm going to multiply out the brackets, and you should know in algebra, whenever you see brackets and you got to break it down, you got to multiply them out. So let's go. What do I multiply? X times 2y minus x times 5. Didn't we do this before? So that's all we're going to do. X times 2y minus x times 5 equal everything over here because we ain't troubling over here yet. So let's go. What's the answer on this side? X times 2y is what? In 2xy minus 5x equal 3y plus 2. Talk to me, people. Everybody understand this part here? All I did was multiply. So let's go. Check in with me. Yes or no? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes or no? Yes or no? And this is basic algebra. Please note, let me stop right here and say something. If it's one topic you need to study the most, is algebra. You know why? Do you realize algebra is in every other subject area? If I'm gonna be honest with you, as I move to the other topic areas, I'm gonna move more drastic, especially with things I know I taught you guys already or I revised with you already. If you're not doing the work on your own, these classes not going to help and you're going to keep us back. Make sure your number one priority is to be strong in algebra, because any student who is strong in algebra should be able to finish this by themselves. So that's what we're working towards. We're not there yet, but that's what we should be working towards. Everybody understand what I'm saying? I don't want to have to find where I live and pull up on you. I got links in St. Kitts. I could find everybody in this chat. St. Kitts small. So your job is to study algebra like your life depends on it. So if we are here now, let's go back to the last step now. What do I want to do? I have 4 terms. Which terms you think I want on the left-hand side? The ones that have a y. And then everybody else go on the next side. Because if we want to make y the subject, we want y by itself on the left-hand side. So let's gather all of the y's together. So what does that mean? Who need to move? 2 people got to move. Let's see if y'all can figure it out. Which 2 terms should move? So let's start with the left-hand side. Who should move on this side here? Who don't belong on that side? Excellent. Excellent. Because that doesn't have a y. So we need to move it over. And when we move it over, what has happened? It would become the opposite, right or wrong? So you see, we just using our sense to tell us what to do. So let's move over this first. Let's move it over first. So what we're going to have left back, we're going to end up with 2xy, right? 2xy is equal to 3y plus 2 plus 5x. Everybody agree? I may like how this looks, so I'm going to put the 5x first. So I'm going to put 5x plus 2. 5x plus 2. That look better, right? Who else need to move now, guys? Who need to move now? Talk to me, talk to me. Very good. Everybody's seeing what you should be doing now. Everybody's seeing how it's looking now. Everybody's starting to catch the drift now. So let's move over the 3y now. When the positive 3y move over, what does it become? The opposite. So what we're going to end up with, 2xy minus 3y is equal to 5x plus 2. So let's stop right here. Everybody okay with this step here? Yes or no? With how we have it, all we did was move over everybody. All the x's on the left, everybody else on the right. Talk to me. Yes or no? So you see, we're breaking it down and we're making sure we understand. Right now, we're focusing on understanding. All right, very good. Now, when we look at this, right, you realize we got a lot of drama going on. In the first term, we got 2xy. We want y alone. In the second term, we got 3y. We want y alone. To pull out the y, we use factorization. So to pull out, because that's what we want. You see what I mean? If you want something, pull it out. So to pull out, I don't know why did I write of. To pull out y, we factorize. And everybody know what factorization this is, eh? This is factorization by distribution because both of them have a y in common. So you pull out what they have in common. So when I pull out y from 2xy, what gonna be left back? That's a man saying it. You gotta tell me. If you take out y from 2xy, what is left back? Excellent. Come on, everybody else, let's go. Talk to me. You pull out y from both sides. What is left back? The 2x gonna be left back minus the 3. Right or wrong? Equal to everything else. How are we looking? You see, this is not beyond you. It's just a lot in one question. That's the only thing. It's a lot, but ain't beyond you. No, what does this mean? Doesn't this mean y times the bracket? Agree or disagree? Let's go. Doesn't this mean y times the bracket? So if I want to get rid of the bracket, shouldn't I do the opposite? What is the opposite of times in? And to divide 2x minus 3, divide by itself. But you know, whatever you do on one side, what do you have to do on the other side? The same exact thing. So what's going to happen here? This and this going to do what? Cancel. So what is left back? Y is equal to, and this is your answer. And what we're going to do is compare it and see if we got the same thing. So that means we finish it off by saying f of x, and we're going to stop right here. That's where we can stop. 5x plus 2 over 2x minus 3. Let's back check our answer. We have 5x plus 2, what we started off with. You see that? Well, it kind of jumbled up. It's harder to see here because it's a lot of drama. But once we don't have the same thing. You see, is it that bad? Let's be real. Was it that bad? No. No, that we break it down step by step. So listen to me, guys. This is the question you have to make sure you are able to do because this is the advanced questions and we know what CXC been doing lately. The easy questions, yeah, everybody could do that. That gonna come in a January paper, but we have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. It's not that bad, right? I'm so proud of you guys for sticking true. So what I want you to do for me, this is your only homework for me. Take a picture of this. And your job is to see if you could do it by yourself. If you gotta look back, but practice it until you could do it by yourself. Okay, and I'm gonna give you one question to do on your own. So this is your homework question that you're gonna do for me. And you could always send me a picture of it and I'll let you know if it's right or wrong, okay? So I want you to try this one for me. 2x. Oh, let me give you an easier one. So try this one for me. This is homework. X plus 1 over 3x minus 2. This is your homework challenge question here in the red box. Did everybody get a chance to take a picture of the question from before? Do I need to zoom in? Let me know. All right, so before you go out of 10, how you feel about today's session? Did you learn anything? Was it useful? I hope that you didn't let that hard question overwhelm you. I'm proud of you for not giving up. So out of 10, how you feel about today's session? And that's it. I'm gonna upload the video to YouTube. For those persons, please subscribe to the video, to the YouTube channel, so you could just always go through any videos whenever you feel like. So I don't have to send it every week. You would find all the other classes from before there. So you guys are, yeah, good to go. So good job. It's just Miss V Academy. I'm gonna download the link and send it to you. And when I send it to you, you could just subscribe one time. Okay, so I'm going to send it to y'all shortly. It will have all the videos from all the previous sessions that you could go back and look over if you need to. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for being here. Have a good week, okay? Bye.